today's video. If you're new here, my name is Summer, and today I'm going to be covering my personal experience getting LASIK eye surgery. I remember the days and weeks leading up to the surgery. I was so nervous about it, just because you don't know what things are like until you actually go through them, right? So people can like tell you all these things, and it's not until you experience it that you actually feel some sort of relief and you're like, phew, okay, it's done with, and I feel okay now. But anyway, I wanted to hopefully help whoever's out there that's a little bit worried about the surgery, kind of put your mind at ease, but also cover a lot of topics that are involved with the surgery, walk you through the consultation, the actual surgery day, the healing process, how much it costs, all of that good stuff. So before we jump into the video, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. So first I'm going to share with you guys where I got my surgery done. So I got mine done at the LASIK Institute in Huntington Beach. They also have another location in LA, and I actually chose this place because my brother had gotten LASIK not too long ago, and he highly recommended them. Plus they had a Groupon deal, so I was like, let me just swoop on this Groupon deal. Plus, if my brother got it done and he trusts them, then I feel more comfortable going to them as well. So I swooped on the Groupon deal, which ended up costing $50, but it was supposed to be, I think, $1,000 off your surgery. Turns out that you get a better deal if you are referred by somebody. So when you actually go in for your consultation, they have you fill out a bunch of paperwork, and on the paperwork they ask you, how did you hear about us? And if you put somebody's name down, then you actually get a really great discount. So I don't remember the exact price that it is before the discount, but I know that you do get $1,200 off, $600 off each eye for the referral, whereas the Groupon was only $500 off each eye. So you do save an extra $200 if you use the referral method. So feel free to use my name, Summer Gravette, if you go in there. I don't believe they like cross-check it or anything like that, or make sure you actually know the person. As long as you heard about them from somebody, then you will get this deal. They're really good about withholding that. So in total, I paid, I might be looking down because I have all my notes on my phone. In total, I ended up paying $3,598. Yes, it is very pricey. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought it was going to be around $2,000. And then I remember I went in for my consultation and I was like, so this is going to be like $2,000 more than I thought. Like, that's awesome. And I got it done around Christmas. So, you know, obviously around the holidays, we're spending a lot more money. But I will say it is so worth it. So definitely don't let the price hinder you. They do offer a payment plan, but in order to actually be able to do the payment plan, you have to sign up for a credit card through Wells Fargo, and that's the only way that you can do the payment plan. I personally did not do that. I just charged it to my card, and the credit card that I have, I get double the points. So I was like, you know what, I'll get my double the points, and I can still just pay it off at my own pace, depending on how, you know, you work your bills in your credit card. So that's pretty much the cost of it. You do get lifetime insurance with the LASIK Institute, which I think is amazing. And you can end up getting it done, I think a total of 2 or 3 times. 3 is like the max, but you don't normally need that. Obviously our eyes change a lot as we get older, but there is no cutoff age. You can get it done whenever, but the consultation is really to do a bunch of tests and make sure that you actually qualify, because there are certain people who do not qualify for getting LASIK surgery. If you're one of those people, I'm so sorry. But most of the time I find that people are eligible to get the surgery. So cross your fingers that you are one of those people. Okay, so one thing that they'll ask you is if you want to do LASIK, which is the laser, or if you want to do the blade. 1000% make sure you choose the laser option. Not only is it safer, but it's a quicker surgery process, and it's also a quicker healing process. So 1000% make sure you do the laser. Do not do the blade. No. All right, I'm gonna walk you through kind of what the consultation looked like for me and that whole process. So I found that it was extremely difficult to book a consultation with them soon. So what I mean by that is when I called, they didn't have any consultations available for 3 to 4 weeks. So definitely plan ahead for your consultation. But when you're at the actual consultation, they do schedule your surgery while you are there, and your surgery you can usually get done the same week as the consultation. It's something about how the scheduling works and stuff like that. But just know once you get your consultation done, you're able to get the surgery done that week. It's just the consultation that's kind of far out that you have to book. So, like I said, anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks on the consultation, depending on the location, the time of year, stuff like that. You cannot wear contacts 2 weeks leading up to your consultation. So if you're somebody that relies on contacts, make sure you have glasses or you have some sort of alternative that you can wear leading up to your consultation, because when they do the actual consultation, you're getting all these tests done and they want to make sure nothing has been in your eye 2 weeks previous to that. Now, when it comes to the surgery, you can only not wear contacts 2 to 3 days leading up to the surgery. So it's not the same for the surgery as it is for the consultation, but that's definitely something to keep in mind so that you can prepare for that. I was always a glasses girl. I rarely ever wore my contacts, so that was easy for me, but I know some people rely on their contacts heavily every single day, so just be aware of that. So now I'm gonna walk you through exactly what happens when you get to the consultation. So you get there, you fill out a bunch of paperwork, then they call you back and you are seated in a room and they play a video for you, and this video goes over exactly what happens during the surgery. So it's kind of like a mock-up of an eye and what they do to the eye using the laser, how the flap gets pushed back, how the more lasers go into your eye, the flap gets put back on, it's brushed down so there's no bubbles by the actual surgeon, and then it's lasered back shut. So basically you watch that during your consultation, which for me personally freaked me out because I was like, I don't like anything near my eye, and so to actually see what's gonna be done to both my eyes made me a little bit freaked out, I'm not gonna lie. But I will say the people at the LASIK Institute are so welcoming and just warm. They're just warm people. Like everyone that I encountered when I was there made me feel so comfortable, made all my nerves go away. They were just so easy to talk to, and I feel like that's why I loved going there so much, and I'm so happy I made the decision to go there. So that's just one thing to point out, is they make you feel so good about everything when you're there. So after you watch the video, you're gonna go to a different room and you get your first test done. You're really just looking through, I don't even know what you would call it. It looks like a telescope, but it's obviously not a telescope or a microscope or anything like that, but that's kind of what it feels like. And they're just looking at both your eyes. They switch back and forth. Thank goodness you don't have to get the blow test done. I don't know if anybody's had this done, but when they spew a bunch of air into your eyes, I don't know, that's a test I've had done before with my eyes, and I was like, is this really necessary? But thankfully you don't have to do that. So you do that first test, then they take you to another room. In the other room, you're just gonna do more tests, easy peasy, nothing to worry about. Once again, you're just looking through something and they're just looking on the other side at your eye a lot closely. This is just to make sure that you qualify. Then you go to another room and one of the actual doctors comes in and they dilate your eyes. So if you've never had your eyes dilated like me, what it is they basically put eye drops in your eye, and it causes, I'm not sure exactly, but it causes something to happen to your eye. They have to let it set in for a few minutes, so they walk you back out to the waiting area. It comes a little bit hard to see close up, so it's a little bit harder to look at your phone, and you also become a lot more sensitive to any light, especially sunlight. Once those have set in and your eyes are nice and dilated, you go back with the actual doctor and she looks at your eyes for one last test. It's something that she can only look at while your eyes are dilated. Once that's done, then they can determine if you are eligible to get the actual surgery. If you are, then you will go to another room and you will talk to somebody there who will go over all the payment plans, and you do have to give a $100 deposit right then and there to secure your appointment. She also books the appointment for you and gives you all the information that you need about post-care, which they make it so simple because they're actually partnered with, I think it's called GoodRx. and GoodRx actually calls you a day or two after you go in for your consultation just to get your payment info, and they get all the eye drops that you need for post-care sent directly to the LASIK Institute. So it's there and it's ready for you on your surgery day. It's so seamless, it's so easy, and I love how they had that just paired together. So as the actual client, I didn't have to do anything really on my end besides pick up the phone. Okay, so once you go over the payment options, you pay your deposit, you schedule your actual LASIK surgery. You're going to be given a packet, and in that packet just goes over everything that you need, all the documents that you need to bring to your actual surgery day, which are just consent forms and your form that you need to get signed by the person who's actually going to be dropping you off and picking you up for your surgery day, because you cannot drive on your surgery day, nor can you drive the day after your surgery when you have to come back in for a checkup. So do beware of that. Make sure you plan ahead. You have somebody to drive you to and from day of and day after. Also, you do not want to sign any of the consent forms until you actually come in on surgery day, because they need to be your witness. So you'll see your line where you need to sign, and then there'll be another line that says witness. They're the witness, so you can fill out all of your information, of course, but do not sign any of the forms until you actually go in on your surgery day. I don't think they told me that until they called to verify my appointment, so just beware of that. You don't want to actually sign it before that. Otherwise, then you have to refill it out when you go there. Okay, so now it is the day of your actual surgery. What does that look like? I know me, I was a little bit freaked out. They tell you make sure you eat a meal before you come, nothing too big, because they want the medicine that they give you to be able to set in right away, but also nothing too small because they don't want the medicine to upset your stomach. So just do a decent sized meal. I don't remember exactly what I had before. I might have just had like a fruit bowl or something, but it was enough for me. So I go in, I get driven to the actual surgery, we sign the consent forms, and then I was called to the back within 5 minutes, I would say. And once you're called to the back, they take you into the room, they do one last checkup on your eyes to make sure everything looks good, make sure you didn't have contacts in the week leading up to it, all of that stuff. And then they go ahead and they give you the medication that is a relaxer. I don't remember exactly what it was, I'm sorry about that, but they give you some sort of relaxer so that you're not anxious, you're not fidgety, anything like that. As soon as they give that to you, you are taken into another room. Sorry, before you're given that, you do your payment, once again in the payment room. They charge everything. That same person that you're doing the payment with gives you the medication that you take. So you take it right then and there. She walks you to the room. She puts on a movie to kind of get your mind off of the surgery, and you just sit there until they call you back for the surgery, which for me, I ended up only having to wait 5 to 10 minutes, and I could feel that medicine kick in right away. It was such a weird feeling. I remember they came into the room and they called me, they're like, Summer, you can come back now. And I could almost barely even stand up. I was like so relaxed that it was hard to even like control my body. It was such a weird sensation. So I got up, they walked me to the surgery room. Soon as you get in there, I would say I spent tops 10 minutes in the actual surgery room. The surgeon's there, he helps you lay down on your back. He puts in those numbing eye drops. As soon as you get in there, it's kind of a lot. He's kind of walking you through what's gonna happen as he's putting the eye drops in. It all just happens so fast. Honestly, you don't even have time to really think about what's going on, which is probably good in retrospect. But he puts the eye drops in and boom, he just puts something right over it. And you're gonna see 3 lights. So there's gonna be 2 red lights and there's gonna be a green light in the middle. They start on one eye. They tell you to look at the light in the middle, which is the green light, I believe. And all you do is stare at the light, and he says, all right, we're gonna do 15 seconds of laser, stare at the green light. And you just stare directly at the green light. You do not feel a thing, which is so weird. And you're still staring at the light, still staring at the light. The only time I felt anything was when he was the actual surgeon, because they have to do this part by hand, is when they put the flap back over and they brush it to make sure there's no air bubbles. That was the only time I maybe felt a little bit of pressure, but it was nothing, obviously, because you're so relaxed and you're so numbed in your eyes. And as soon as he does that, he says, all right, there's gonna be another 5-second laser, give me 5 seconds. So the laser goes on. Once again, you're looking at that same color laser, and you can kind of smell this burning smell. And I remember one of the people who works there told me, like, yeah, you're gonna smell a burning smell. That's just your eye tissue going into heaven because it's burning your eye tissue off, which I thought was funny. So that was a little weary, but just know that that's normal. You'll be able to smell it. And then once again, he's like, oh, all right, now we're gonna do 15 seconds of laser. He walks you through it as you're going through it. He's like, all right, 5 more seconds. Boom, you're done. Moves over to the next side, does the same exact thing. And before you know it, you're done. And they're like, all right, you're done. Let me help you up. They put the goggles on you. They walk you to another room, and they give your driver, or you, it depends how far you live. I live pretty far away, so they gave my driver, I think it was at Tylenol PM or Advil PM, to give to me when we were about 30 minutes away from home, because it takes 30 minutes to set in. That way, as soon as we got home, I would just be able to take it and I'd be able to knock out. Another thing that I recommend, I should have put this earlier in the video, is to try to schedule your surgery date in the afternoon. That way you're done later towards the day, and that way you can just sleep, because you are gonna sleep the entire night through. I slept the entire night through. My surgery was at 4. I got home around 6, slept around 7, didn't wake up till 7 the next morning, and I never woke up throughout the night. So just be prepared. I could still pretty much see right after the surgery, which I thought was weird, but you do have to wear the goggles, and then they put kind of like these shades over you too, just because you are sensitive to light. You walk out, and that's that. They said, make sure you eat a little something. So we stopped to get food along the way. And then when I got home, I ate my food and I went to bed. And like I said, slept 12 hours that night. So it really is so painless, and you get through it really, really, really quickly. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to what the next day after surgery looks like. You wake up, and just be aware that a lot of people heal differently. So just because you've had somebody tell you that they woke up and everything was so clear, it was like they were seeing a new world, doesn't mean that that's necessarily gonna be the case for you, because that wasn't the case for me. Yes, it was clear, but I was so sensitive to light, and I noticed that my vision was a little bit blurry, in the sense where, I don't know if you've ever left a contact in too long, but I used to always sleep in my contacts. I know it's so bad, but the second day I was wearing my contacts, I would always have kind of like spotty vision, because it was almost as if our eye liquid was like on top of my contact. That's kind of how it felt the next day. It just wasn't fully clear and crisp. But when I went to my surgery, you do your eye test, they have you look at all of the letters on the board, and they were like, you have 20/20 vision. I was like, so cool. They were like, it can take up to 3 weeks for your vision to become completely clear, and for your the light sensitivity to go away. So just beware of that. And ever since then, I would say I'm on day, let me look at my calendar real quick. I got my surgery done exactly 2 weeks ago. So even to this day, I still have a huge sensitivity to lights, not only sunlight, but to like the little lights on my Christmas tree, to bulbs that are hanging, like lights that are hanging, ceiling lights. There's just a huge halo, and it's especially hard for me to drive at night because there's so many headlights and tail lights in one place, especially when you're on the freeway, right in front of your face, that it makes it really hard to see, and almost seems as if your vision is blurry because of all the halos in one place. So just beware of that. Another note, you cannot wear eye makeup for 10 days after your surgery. So make sure you schedule it when you're not gonna have anywhere to go for 10 days, or anywhere you don't mind not wearing makeup. I did wear lashes with no mascara or anything like that. I think it was 3 days after my surgery, and I was fine, but I don't recommend that. Try not to do it if you can do that. So that's how my vision was that day. And then another key thing that I want to note is the day after my surgery, that same day, my eyes started to feel so heavy around 4 o'clock. And I forced myself to stay awake till 7 p.m. because you have to do your eye drops 4 times a day. And I tried to space it out. I did 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And that was my schedule every single day for the 2 different drops that you have to do. So I tried to force myself to stay awake till 7 o'clock to do my last eye drops, but it was so hard for me to keep my eyes open. I didn't necessarily feel tired, but my eyes, I could tell, were having to work overtime. Because not everything was super clear and crisp yet, and then the light sensitivity was just making them really tired of working. So that's something to note, is the 2 days after my actual surgery day, I went to bed super early because I just couldn't keep my eyes open any longer, and that might not happen to you, but it might happen to you, so just beware. Also, make sure you bring sunglasses with you everywhere you go because of the light sensitivity. It's going to be really hard for your eyes to adjust. It's just going to take some time. Also, you have to do the eye drops for 8 days, 4 times a day, 2 different eye drops. And then after those 8 days, you have to do your artificial tear drops, still 4 times a day, but I believe it's for 2 weeks. So I'm on the artificial drops right now, just to make sure your eyes don't get super dried out. But the eye drops weren't bad. I did not particularly like the first set of drops you have to do because I felt like they made my eyes almost like milky. My eyesight was milky after I did it. It doesn't make sense, but once you get it, you'll understand what I mean. Didn't enjoy those, but you have to do it. So that's just a heads up about that. But ever since the first day, my eyes have been completely different every single day. I would say for the first week. One day I woke up and my right eye seemed like it was back to my old vision, but my left eye seemed like it was crisp and clear, almost as if I had a contact in one eye and not in the other. That's what it felt like. Really uncomfortable. And then the next day I woke up and they had switched. And then by now, like I said, it's been 2 weeks. Everything is so crisp and clear. It's amazing. Only thing is the sensitivity to light. So everybody's healing process is so different. So just don't be afraid if it seems like something's going wrong or it's not super clear right away, because that's just how your eyes react, and everybody's eyes react so differently. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope I covered everything. I took some extensive notes just so that I could make sure that this video had tons of information and I didn't leave anything out. But if I did, or if I didn't cover something, please ask me in the comments below. I know that this is a surgery that many people feel anxious about and are nervous about, but I promise you there is nothing to feel nervous about. It is over like that, and the healing process is so easy. So just don't worry about it. Just know that it's going to be over before you know it, and good luck with your surgery if you are getting it. Hopefully I will see you guys in my next video, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Bye.